Hi everyone, I'm Stacy from Stacy's Kitchen and welcome to Delicious Delicacies, or as we like to say it here, DeliDeli. And on today's episode, I'm going to be making a yummy, scrumptious and spicy pepper roti. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so as you can see, I have all my ingredients ready. I have my dough ball, my carrots, potatoes, cheese, but it's vegetarian. Well, you know, with pepper roti, you can make it vegetarian or meat. But because of the time of the year we're actually preparing this for, we're going to be going all veggie. And in a few minutes, I will show you how I prepared my dough also. Okay, so I'm preparing my potato filling for the pepper roti. So I have my potato boiled nicely here. It's very hot. So to the hot potato, I'm adding the butter. And we're just gonna mash this together just to melt the butter in the hot potato. You could also use a food processor to break it down, but some people like the potatoes chunky. And guys, this is very simple, as you can see. So I'm just using a fork to mash it. Alright, so now I'm going to be adding some of my spices to this. So we put in some salt to taste. Our fresh ground green seasoning. Of course, we have to put our jeera powder or cumin as they call it. Alright, so everything is about nicely combined. So I'm just using like about 2 to 3 potatoes here. So we can get at least 2 pepper rotis with this. Because we have the other ingredients to also add. So what I do is I'm gonna layer that roti with the filling. Alright, so I'm gonna set this aside and I'm gonna go over to showing you how to prepare the dough. Okay, so I'm showing you how to prepare the dough. So it's a simple, let me say roti flour with a little more moisture. So to this flour, I'm gonna add, let's just say 1 tablespoon of baking powder. And I'm gonna put some ghee for a nice texture. Of course, I'm gonna put some salt. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just, you know, you know me, I always like to make life simple. So I'm just gonna combine the dry ingredients just to get that ghee and the salt and the baking powder infused nicely. And I'm just gonna add the water little by little. So I would say to 3 cups of flour, we could use 1.5 cups of water if we're using things like ghee and stuff in your flour. Now if you don't have a mixer, of course you can use your hands, but I'm just using a mixer today. Alright, like this you can monitor how much water you put into it, so you get a perfect consistency. Alright, so that's almost done there. coming together quite nicely. Alright, so that takes just about 2 minutes, if so much. And once you see it starts to fall off that hook, it means that it's perfect consistency. So I'm just going to turn this off now, and I'm going to let that flour rest for about an hour. Alright? Alright, so I'm going to be cutting up my fresh seasonings to add to my filling. So as you can see, I have my cilantro, or bandana as we call it in Trinidad, pimentos, onions, and garlic, and of course my hot pepper. What is pepper roti without hot pepper? So just a couple of pieces of garlic. And I'm adding this filling also to the potatoes. Alright, so I'm just gonna put this in my pressure cooker. But all the ingredients combined give it a beautiful, beautiful flavor. Alright, so that's it for that. And we're going to be adding this to the potatoes now. Okay, so I have my beautiful pepper filling for the potato. Everything smells so lovely. And guys, you know, I put my little twist on most of my stuff. So, you know, sometimes it's good to try something different. As you would notice with my cooking, I like to try things a different way, you know, just to spice it up a bit, or, you know, make it fun. Alright, so I'm just going to combine all of this together. See how pretty that is? It smells amazing also. Alright, so I'm going to add some carrots to this as well. And you can put as much as you like. And again, so simple, yet so delicious. And this is actually a full meal. It's really a delicious delicacy. Alright, so I'm going to let this rest, and we're going to start working on putting the entire pepper roti together. Time to prepare our pepper roti. So I divided my dough ball into 2 pieces. I just dust it with some dried flour, and so I'm going to roll it out. Because remember, it's a bottom layer and a top layer. So my tower is heating, and we're going to start shortly. Alright, so on a clean surface, I'm going to start to roll my dough balls. And always make sure to put a bit of flour at the bottom so it doesn't stick to the countertop or the board that you're using. So I'm just doing like a medium-sized pepper roti. Alright, so this should be a nice width. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the other one time, and then we're going to start filling the inside. Alright, so I'm brushing the tower with a bit of the ghee and some coconut oil. And now we're going to start filling our roti. Wish me luck. So I'm also going to brush the inside of the dough that I rolled out with a bit of the same ghee and coconut oil. And I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of flour in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to be layering the bottom with some cheese first. Just to hold the ingredients inside of the flour dough, because it tends to be very thin and the ingredients are heavy. So just my little way of layering. Alright, so we're gonna add the potato mixture. And I'm just gonna try to spread it across evenly. This looks edible already. Okay, let me put a little bit more. You can also use your hands to spread it, just to make sure you get all. Okay, so my last topping of cheese. So guys, a lot of ingredients going on here. We have our spices, our herbs, our cheese, our dough, and also the full recipe will be posted on the video. Okay, so have no fear. Alright, so I'm just going to cover this and then it's going to go on to the stove. Alright, so we're going to cover this like this. Close up any little open holes. I'm just going to brush some of this mixture again on the top. Okay, so I'm just going to close up my ends using a fork, just like this. It doesn't have to be too fancy. Another take on some comfort food. Alright, so wish me luck now. Alright, so I'm just gonna rest this baby right here. So we're gonna just let this cook maybe for about 5 minutes on each side. Well, most of the ingredients are already cooked on the inside, so we just letting the dough for the roti cook now. So I'm just gonna brush it a bit with the ghee and the oil. So I'm using coconut oil for the outside. That's just my preference. Okay, so final touches, guys. So I'm gonna sprinkle some more cheese on top of my pepperoni, and we're gonna be cutting it nice and hot right here on the stove. Guys, as you can see, my dough is more or less the paratha type dough, which I like. It's very flaky and it's very light and it tastes delicious. So up next, we're gonna be tasting this yummy pepperoni. All right, so time for our taste testing. Have cheese everywhere here, flowing out of this pepperoni. All right. Oh, how beautiful is that? Look at all that cheese and potato oozing out. Looks amazing. Isn't that lovely? Alright, so I'm tasting hot off the stove. Lovely. So here we have it, guys, our yummy, scrumptious, spicy pepperoni, my style. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please feel free to try the recipes and let us know what you think.